Good afternoon, everyone. I'm very happy to join my colleague, Assemblywoman Nicole Malliotakis, on a very important issue. And it's something that is near and dear to my heart, quite frankly, as the father of a senior in high school. My oldest daughter, yes, it's hard to believe, Nicole, Olivia, is a senior in high school applying for college. And sticker shock does not even begin to describe the cost of college today. And so as we go through this process, and I talk to friends of mine who are in the same predicament in terms of considering college for their children, it all comes back to the same thing really, which is the unaffordability of college in America today for the middle class. And there's a program here known as TAP, which was created to offer assistance precisely for middle class families. The trouble with the program, though, is it is not kept up with the economic realities and the present value of money. And it is no longer really providing assistance for many middle-class families in New York. It's not available to them. And these bills, there are two bills here, and my colleague is going to speak on them as well, obviously. But there are two bills here that seek to remedy that situation, to actually provide assistance for families, middle-class families, who are sending their children off to college. And so it's important that I think these programs match the economic reality, that the salary limits today really do not match who it is that are middle class in our state anymore. And so we're trying to do something about that. We hear about other programs that are being offered to offer assistance. This is a fair way to do that. We're sending a message that says, middle class families here in New York, we do hear your plight, we do understand your need, and we are going to update this important program for you so that college is made more affordable for you. Colleges are the only ones, it seems, who are immune to economic realities. Every year they raise tuition, it seems, year in and year out, without understanding the effect that has on middle class families across our state. So again, Assemblywoman Malliotakis is a leader in this regard in the Assembly, and it is a privilege for me to join with her, to partner with her, so that we have a chance to see this relief actually become law here in the state of New York. With that, I'm going to turn it over to my good friend and colleague, and really a champion on this issue, Assemblywoman Malliotakis.
Thank you. Cross?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you guys for coming today. Last week we took a vote on the DREAM Act, and it was the fourth time we voted on this legislation in 1 year. Yet that legislation doesn't help a single citizen in the state of New York. I'm here to offer an alternative along with my colleague, Senator Lanza. We are advocating for tuition assistance bills that would help the average middle-class family here in the state of New York pay for what has become something that is unaffordable and really out of reach for most New York families. Our legislation would help the citizens of our state and allow them to pay for school. Many families we know in our district are working multiple jobs to put their children through school. We have many single parents who are trying to get an education as well and are struggling to do so while working full-time. We have many students who are taking out a tremendous amount of debt because they can't afford college, and they're graduating on average with $26,000 debt annually, and that's not even including graduate school. So what our bills would do would expand the tuition assistance program to help more citizens in our state. The first piece of legislation would increase the income eligibility threshold from $80,000 to $100,000 per year. So if you're a family making $80,000, you have to put 2, 3, 4 children through school. You can't do so while paying a mortgage and all the other middle class expenses you endure day in and day out. So our bill would increase the cap, which is something that hasn't been done for 15 years. So last time it was increased was from $50,000 to the current $80,000 household income, and that was done in the year 2000. And the second bill is something that I think is a no-brainer. We want to restore the tuition assistance program for graduate students here in the state of New York. That was eliminated back in the year 2010. The legislature, facing fiscal difficulties, had to cut, and where they cut was the tuition assistance program. And so it's completely eliminated. If you're a graduate student here in the state of New York, you get absolutely no tuition assistance whatsoever. And we want to restore that. And we think that that should be a priority for this legislature in this upcoming budget. And so we urge our colleagues and the governor to join us in making sure that middle-class families have access to the tuition assistance that they need to afford a higher education.